Guys and girls, welcome back to Harper's Shed. My name's Tim. This is my FC RX-7 that we're getting ready for Summernats 2023. Alright, so if you haven't seen any of the previous videos on this car, I'll leave a link to the other playlist, and also I've started a new playlist on my channel, which is the Road to Summernats, because it's going to be a bumpy one. We don't have a lot of time, we've got a lot to do. So I got less than 6 months to get this thing painted, regoed, together, and as reliable as I can make it. We do have an issue, however, in that that's empty. So part of the build series that I've got is me doing the rest of the engine up. So as I said, go back and check that out, it'll catch up. First things first, before I can do any work, I need to make some room. I don't have a big shed, but the crap that's cluttering it up makes it worse, so we'll do that first. Alright, shed cleaned up, and this is the rear bar, so let me fill over. So again, just like the rest of the kit, it's a cheaper kit, but it's a good kit. I don't mind it. Need to do a little bit more trimming, just from sort of what we saw, a little bit of trimming up in here, but not terrible. Today I'm going to concentrate on getting these guards glued, because they're going to go on and take time to set and everything. So I'm going. Alright, so I do my best to try and do a bit of a how-to video, and we're going to learn together, because I don't know how to do it. So if you know, just let me know. Alright. But the whole point of fitting a wide body, apart from the fact that it looks awesome, is you can run a much wider offset rim. Now, in order to do that, before this gets glued on, we need to move the factory wheel arch. So, although this factory line is in line with this one, it's now out here. So we want to get a tyre all the way out here, and because we're going to lower the car, we don't want this lip right here to impede the wheel travel. So we need to come through. I need to come from a bit up above that line, because that's where the new guard sort of screws to, down here. And we're going to come in and take probably an inch off that entire run all the way around. And then we're going to get the inner guard folded out. So that's just cutting the outer skin. We're going to get the inner guard, we're going to fold it out to meet it, and then we're going to re-weld that seam seal it from the inside and tidy it all up. That way this lip is now going to be up here, and we can run bigger tyres, lower to the ground, everyone wins. So I'm going to taper the line. This is set to 50 mil, or near enough to 2 inches for that section, for the highest point. And then I'm going to reset, and we'll reset it to, I don't know, pick a number.
30.
30, you reckon? Let's go 30. Seems good.
Mm-hmm.
This is all best guess, because I'm going to come along and try and mark it. Try and get a sharp one on there. So, do that. We'll come back this side. Just there. Alright. Here's where shit gets freehand. That didn't work well. Where's that line there? So I want to run from this line. Alert. Come over here and we'll do the same. Righto. Near enough. If I've cut too much, I've got to weld up. Now go back now.
always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind.
So as you saw on the time lapse, cut the outer skin, and then we cut the inner skin a bit lower, come through and make some slots. It just makes it easier to massage the metal. And then what we're going to do is I've just come through and sort of tapped these around, bent them with some pliers and tapped them around. We'll go through and weld, start from one side and we'll tack and weld as we go, and then I can come through and finish it off. And this edge here I'm just going to sort of, I'll clean up with a just with the grinder a bit more, just make it square. And this one here I'll probably do the same. I'll probably bring this edge back a little bit just to tidy it up, and then that'll be it. It's really not a difficult process, it's just a bit scary. Cutting bits of steel off where you could put them back on if you wanted to, but especially in a car that's getting rarer and rarer. But my car, and it's going to be good for it when it's done. So let's get this welded. Alright, so all trimmed, trim them back so that we can weld flat up against it. That way we can sort of get good penetration, then grind it smooth. And I'm trying to leave a little bit of a square lip under here, because when the wide body goes on, I'm going to have to create a flat plate that comes out here that spans the gap between the old guard and then the new wide body guard. So anyway, if you can make sense of all that, you're doing better than me. So come through, now I'm just going to weld it. Like any bodywork welding, just spread your welds out. So a little bit over here, a little bit over here, a little bit there, just spread them out. I do want to fully weld it, and then I'm going to come through and I'm going to weld all those slits that I cut on the backside too. I can get to this from the inside, which is really good. So we'll come through once it's all fully welded. I'll come through from the inside and I'll put a good layer of seam sealer on, and then we'll hit this with some undercoat and then just some generic black top coat to stop it rusting. Anyway, we'll get it done, and then we'll get to getting this glued up. Progress. It's not going to win any beauty contest, but it doesn't have to, because it's right up inside the guard. But what it did give me is that much extra worth of up travel on the suspension. Whether I use that travel by lowering the car, which we'll lower it, we'll drop it an inch, maybe two, but all that is gained inside the guard. So now we're going to try and start fitting this up. Now, because I want this completely flush, I think what we're going to do is we're going to come in, novice cameraman, and I think I'm going to trim this edge, probably on this side, and then I'll run it into this edge here. What I want is for the edge of the new guard to be flush with the edge of this, and that way I can come in and just fill that edge so that it's smooth, and that way it won't change the door gap or anything as it closes. So, and it's not quite good enough there for me to run in here. It's going to have to be back here, I think. So anyway, we'll start trimming a little bit off and work our way in and get it fitted. Alright, so we're on. We did do a fair bit of trimming in and around the door. So this panel used to come all the way in and around into there, and it just didn't fit quite right. So do that screw up a bit. What I'm going to do is, once it's all bonded, I'll come through and I'll flatten this edge off. It's pretty flat anyway, and then I can come through with some fibre reinforced filler, and I can fill that, and then it'll be just one seamless joint. These screws are just to hold it. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull this off, and I'm going to get all the paint off. And I read the instructions on the Sikaflex, and I think it's going to be better to bond it to bare steel. So yeah, undo it, clean it up, Sikaflex, screw it on, and then that's that side done. So bare metal, like I said, all the areas where we're going to apply sealant, I'm going to put, adhesive, and I'm going to put a lot on. I don't want this coming off. So we go through and I'll put heavy beads through everywhere. I've wiped it down, wax and grease, and I just put a couple of coats of paint on all the welded areas. That'll get more rust preventative when I come and do the inside lift too, but that'll take care of it for now. So anyway, Oh, that's thick. This should be fun. It's not coming off, I hope. Anyway. That's a lot of glue. Really need it to cover all of the bare metal areas. And we really need it to hold the panel, which I think it should do both pretty good. So we'll come back through, I'll push all of that down, and then we'll go and put all the screws back in. Beer o'clock. Second side on. Didn't really film much, although I still got goo on my camera. Didn't film much. It's exactly the same as the other side. Rinse and repeat, basically. But that's on. So now, rear bar mock-up time, and then I'm going to fit the wing. So the back end of the car will be done. So we'll get that happening. Alright, so just an update. I got carried away. I probably should have turned the camera on a bit sooner. But the rear bar is pretty well there. It's sort of just sitting on milk crates because I haven't come through and put all the fixtures in the back. But these body lines are not terrible. This corner is going to need a bit of work and I'll have to fill there, but I mean for a fiberglass kit, it's not bad. You come around, it's sitting pretty level all the way across the back. I've got one screw in it there. And then on this side's pretty good. I'm really happy with this side. This one's all bonded, so I couldn't really move it. I did sort of screw up a bit. I suppose a bit of advice would be don't do one side at a time like I did. Get both rear guards semi-screwed on and then come back and place your rear bar first, because this guard at the lower section actually needs to come away from the car by about 4 or 5 mil, and it's not going to happen. There's that much glue on it, it's not moving. So what we did is we had to shimmy the rear bar across a bit. You'll never see it, it's fine, but that's probably just a tip, is actually attach your rear quarters and then get this all mocked up before you go ahead and place glue. Didn't do it, you didn't let me know, so you know, you're to blame as well. But we got really carried away and I thought, let's put the wing on. And we did, and it looks sick. And then I thought, can you open the rear tailgate with the wing on? No, you can't. So, my fault. I should have checked it as we were going, but we're going to have to undo these brackets. So at the moment, there's just rib nuts in under these. So these front brackets are just held in with 2 rib nuts under it. I'm just going to have to drill them out and weld up the holes, and we'll have to slide the whole assembly back. So anyway, oversight, that's what you get for getting carried away. So we'll do that now. I'll pull it off, move them back a section, and then the wing will be mounted too. So the back end of the car is as finished as it's going to be before we get body work, and then just start spending a shitload of time with the sanding block. So these are fully on, obviously, as you've already seen these, so there's nothing new there. These are on, so I come through and rib nut it up in the inner guard, and then, I mean, it's there. The wing's on, and now it clears. So that's a bonus. I don't know how you're supposed to get stuff in there, but that's not really that big of a deal. Rear bar's done, which is good. So that was a fair bit of work, but it's got all rib nuts in the factory locations. Actually, you might even be able to see. So it's been rib nutted and M6 stainless bolts put all the way along the back. So it's solid. The rear bar is actually really nice and solid, and it looks good. It's more or less centered. And yeah, so this side was glued up, which you also saw. Same thing, that's all done. Side skirts, I've made a call. We're going to hard mount them. So I was sort of thinking of not hard mounting them. I was just going to bolt them and screw them. But I mean, the question has to be asked: how often am I going to take them off, and why would I take them off? So The side skirts are going to go the same way as the rear guards. So they'll get fully flush mounted, and then same in through the door gap, it'll all get cleaned up and done. Anyway, that's the car as it stands. Alright, that's where we're going to leave it for today. So yeah, the whole back end's essentially done. I've got to put some more rib nuts in the rear bar, but it's where it's going to be. The wing is now where it's going to be, so it clears, which is good. Nice little gap through there, and it's still needs a little bit of finessing, but it's pretty good. I'm happy with it. And yeah, so next step will be side skirts. So it'll be essentially the whole front of the car will be the next step. So, and I'll try. It shouldn't be as bad because it all just bolts together. So we don't have to worry about doing any cutting and shutting. Anyway, that should happen the entire next episode. The whole wide body will be on properly, and then we can start the filler, sanding, and almost even painting. So, all right, like, subscribe, all the rest. As I said, this is going to be a hard and fast project now. I'm going to get it done. So, yeah, if you want to keep up with it, that's how it's going to happen. All right, catch you on the next one.